When you're on top of your empire, when you're at top of your game, you're gonna realize that one day, those things that you suffered before is actually one of the best memories you have. Why? Because it made you who you are. If you do not look for distractions anymore, my friend, that is a good sign that you're ready to date because it already made you become a stronger individual. There's nothing you're running away from. You're strong. And you know that whatever it is that is ahead of you, you're not gonna be distracted anymore with the pain. So if ever may isang tao na dadating man sa buhay mo ngayon, you only have to focus on one specific thing if you can. Specifically in love life. Or specifically if you want to be romantically engaged with someone. Dapat isa lang. And most of the time, the engagement becomes not effective if there are a lot of things that is still going through your head. So ibig sabihin nun, hindi ka pa ready mag-date. Pero kung sakaling nalagpasan mo yon, you don't look for distractions anymore. Kasi you're developing yourself. When you develop yourself, you will attract the person that you want in your life instead of chasing them. You cannot just switch the feelings on and off. Diba? Hindi mo pwedeng kahit na sinaktan ka ng tao na yon, the next day you can tell yourself that you don't love that person anymore. It doesn't work that way. It takes time to heal. Now, one of the indications that somehow you are able to really be truly healed is when hindi ka na-triggered pag marinig yung pangalan ng ex mo. Nothing bothers you. You are unfazed if ever you hear your ex's name or you find out new information about them, specifically their new love life. Here's my advice. Here's one real talk that I want everybody to understand. Now, my friends, if ever you're an individual who still has grudge, who still has feelings, or who still is longing for the person that hurts them, that is not a very great indication for you to jump into one relationship. Bakit? Ako I can literally sense if someone, like say for example, even previously, I go out on a date, I really know that this person has so much hatred in their heart towards their ex that somehow that baggage that they carry, natatambak niya din sa akin. Like if you are trying to meet someone new, person that you feel as if you can go together and have a relationship with, and then once you're still hung up with your ex, you keep on telling stuff about your ex, the negativity, the things that you didn't like, the reason as to why you were hurt. And somehow, that takes a toll on an individual. Minsan, yung mga taong nagre-receive nun are not actually aware in that they think that it's cute because nagko-confide sa kanila yung tao. You don't know that is very dangerous because the person that you are with is still not fully healed. The person that you are with is still trying to compensate the pain just to be with someone else. So be very careful. Kasi may mga pagkakataon sa buhay na hindi natin alam that we have to actually be sensitive on the things that we carry kasi even the person that we love so much, we tend to hurt without us realizing it. And one of the ways of hurting them is bringing them negativity in their life. Kuya Darbs, do you recommend the 3-month rule? I don't. And somehow everybody, you cannot time your healing process. There are people who heals after 3 months. There are people who heals even before 3 months. So it totally depends on you, on your healing process. You just take the natural process of the heart to heal, just like the natural process of the body to heal a physical wound. So kung sakaling meron kang wound that is way deeper, you cannot expect yourself to be okay in the 3-month rule. There is a gauge, fine, 3-month rule, pero do you really have to follow it? Of course not. Don't believe it. Si Jenny, me po, 3 points. Kaso, lapitin ako ng wrong person. Walang problema kung lalapitan ka ng maling tao. Ang problema nun kung magpapaloko ka. The boat can sink by the very water that surrounds it. But it doesn't. It thrives on the very thing that could sink it down. Why? Because it doesn't allow to let the water inside. So kahit na maraming taong mali para sa'yo, so please understand, that should not be a worry. As long as you know your worth, as long as you know who you are, and as long as you know what you deserve, you're safe. Siguro yung pagpapatawad sa ibang tao, there are times where it will eventually come. Lalo na pag healed ka na, lalo na pag meron ng taong nagpapasaya sa'yo. Pero yung forgiveness of oneself, that is very difficult. And that is one of the things why most people don't eventually find the love that they deserve. Kasi it becomes a defense mechanism eh. When you don't forgive yourself because you know it was your fault, kaya ka nakakaramdam ng ganong klaseng sakit ngayon. And what happens is when you don't forget yourself, you tend to be on defense mode on every relationship. The goal is not to love. The goal is just not to get hurt. And there's two major differences between both. If you're on offense, which is the goal is to love, then there might be certain situations where you can encounter pure love, joy, and happiness. There's a big risk that you get hurt anyway, pero at least you did not deprive yourself of experiencing those happy moments. Versus, if you are in a relationship because the goal is not just to get hurt, that is a very sad goal, a very boring one. Why? Because you're depriving yourself of feeling true happiness sa sarili mo at doon sa tao. And this is very risky. Why? Once you're on defense mode and once you think that the goal on every relationship is not to get hurt, what happens is you don't really truly able to love freely. And that could be an indication, and that could be the reason why your partner will become distant. And the only reason why you're not capable of really truly loving is because you did not forgive yourself. You forgive yourself with those hurt, with those pain, my friend. Bakit? Kasi at the end of the day, may mga pagkakataon sa buhay, magkakamali at magkakamali ka. And you have to be thankful with those mistakes because that will become your weapon on the future problems that you're gonna have. Adversity is the pillar of success. One of the most successful people in the world are the people that has their own adversities in life. Life was not easy for those people. And that somehow you have to be thankful for those adversities instead of thinking of them as a situation that is a disadvantage. My friend, that is the huge advantage for you. You know what? I thank God. I am not born rich. Hindi din naman kami mahirap, but we struggle financially somehow. And I'm thankful for that kind of experience. I'm thankful na hindi ako pinanganak ng mayaman. Why? Because it gives me an opportunity to learn down there, from the trenches. And because of those experiences, it made me tough. It made me sensitive. It made me become a human being who's able to relate to those people who's suffering with poverty, who's capable of being sensitive to the feeling of an individual who doesn't even have pamasahe pamuntang work, walang pang-ulam, tanghalian. And I'm happy I was able to experience those kind of things. Why? Because that freaking thing gave me the hunger, gave me the fire to be an individual who pursues what he wants. And because of those adversities, my friend, I am strong. And I'm thankful for that. The joy of playing the game is because there are challenges that you're capable of overcoming. The sense of progress, the sense of overcoming the things that you were not able to overcome before, the things that you think was too difficult, but somehow one day you're able to see yourself go towards or over it. That is what makes life more meaningful. Whatever pain, suffering, or disadvantage you think you have when you're born young, don't think of it as a disadvantage or a handicap. Perspective, my friend, that is a blessing. Why? Because adversity is the pillar to success. You might not be able to realize it right now, but when you're on top of your empire, when you're at top of your game, you're gonna realize that one day, those things that you suffered before is actually one of the best memories you have. Why? Because it made you who you are. You'll be thankful for that. And in order for you to be able to have that kind of feeling, have that kind of situation, if ever you have been through a lot of trials and those trials was because of your mistake, you have to learn how to forgive yourself first. This is something that I want everybody to realize, that somehow all of this time you haven't been able to prioritize yourself. You were prioritizing the pain. You were prioritizing the suffering. You were prioritizing the distractions. You were prioritizing the feelings that you have for that person. You were prioritizing that person over you. Once you're able to pause, reflect, understand, realize that somehow, despite of everything, it's now your time to prioritize yourself. And once you're able to be in this level, I think this is the time for you to go ahead and date and be with someone. Most of the time, we tend to disregard our own needs over others. I respect people who's able to always prioritize somebody even if marami ng kakulangan sa kanila. Pero this actually goes against what I always say, self-worth. Hindi mo mabibigay yung bagay na gusto mong ibigay kung wala ka nun mismo. You might be able to give it for quite some time, pero somehow, my friends, you cannot sustain on giving it. Kasi paano ka magiging masaya sa piling ng iba kung hindi mo mismo kayang maging masayang mag-isa? And once you're capable of being happy alone, imagine you being able to be happy with someone. That happiness would be doubled. Kasi yung iba nagiging masaya lang kung nandyan siya. Pero pag wala, parang wala na din silang pakiramdam. But once you're happy alone, and then there's an individual that makes you happy further, imagine the level of happiness that you have. And you will never be able to reach that level of happiness if you don't prioritize yourself. put time to yourself of understanding what you want, what you need, what your goals are, what are the things that you needed to do in order for you to improve yourself, how to develop self-awareness. And you cannot be able to reach this level if you don't prioritize you. My friends, here's what I wanted to tell you. Ito ha, pwede ka naman talagang mag-date kahit wala yung 5. Sa totoo lang, I mean, who am I to tell you when to date or when not to? Pero somehow, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the person that you're gonna be loving, if ever. Bakit? Kasi, would you serve a cookie to someone that you love knowing that it is half-baked, knowing that it will not taste good, knowing that it could have tasted better if you just waited a little more time? If you just put the right temperature on? That's basically who you are if ever you date with someone when you still have hurts going on inside of you. So, please, it's not that you owe it to them, you also owe it to yourself. Kasi this is the time and an opportunity for you to actually grab that happiness alone. Ito na yung oras at pagkakataon mong i-practice yung sinasabi ni Kuya Darbs na self-worth since day one. Hindi pwedeng inaasa yung kaligayahan sa iba. Think of this time as your training ground. You have to really learn how to be alone first so that companion is just an option, not a necessity. So that when a person tries to leave you, when a person doesn't want you around, when a person doesn't treat you the way you're not supposed to be treated, you're okay to let go. Bakit? Kasi alam mo, hindi ka natatakot mag-isa kasi alam mo kaya mo. Kasi alam mo, masaya ka naman kahit ikaw lang. Being alone will definitely make you realize you're worth it. You are. Just believe in it.
Yo, what's up, RTD fam? I wanted to invite you to join heart healing sessions with me, Real Talk Darbs. This is an opportunity for you to actually do something about that pain. Kasi alam ko, mahirap if you're gonna go through pain alone. So I have noticed that there's a lot of people in my followings that has the same problem. And they don't know what to do with that. And most of the time, those people basically gets destroyed. So in heart healing sessions, I'm gonna be teaching you how to get over that pain and turn that pain into power. I'm inviting you on a 3-day intimate heart healing sessions. And this is gonna be so intimate that after walking out of this workshop, you're gonna basically be able to find one specific thing that is very important. That is how self-love can ultimately release you from the pain of the past and the pain that you are experiencing right now. Heart healing sessions with Real Talk Darbs happening on February 12, 13, and 14. Please sign up right now. Check the link on the description above to know more. So, I'll see you there.
Thank you very much sa lahat ng mga nakinig, nanood, at sumubaybay. I hope you guys will still continue on supporting me. Please, go ahead. Support me in Kumu. Kumu Live in Thursday, 10:30 ng gabi sa Pilipinas and 6:30 ng gabi sa UAE. Please, go ahead. Check me out there. Maraming salamat po. And of course, if you want to be an RTD pledger, a supporter. Become a supporter now. Pag nagko-comment ka dyan, magkakaroon ka ng supporter badge. I will really appreciate your support, my friend, if that is the case. Thank you very much sa lahat ng mga nakinig, nanood. And of course, thank you very much, Dinari Cash, for powering this Facebook Live. I appreciate you very much. Of course, I always tell this to everybody. Thank you very much for supporting Real Talk Darbs. This is Real Talk Darbs, giving you real thoughts through real talk. Always remember, self-worth lang po tayo since day one. Yalla, bye.